Good day to all of you. We thank you for taking time to join the Town webinar. We see that people have joined from more than 40 countries and more than about 200 people registered, but because of the time difference, not all of them are going to be attending live today. But whoever is registered, they will get the recorded session of this webinar. So don't worry if you miss a couple of points, we will send you the whole video so you can watch it. And if you have any questions, always please put it in the chat and we will answer them. And then we just want to say a brief introduction about Town and why we are doing this webinar. And then we will continue with that. So another 2 minutes for me to just share because we see a lot of new faces here today and some of them are new to the Town. So just we want to give a brief introduction. So the parent company is called InnoConcepts. We started InnoConcepts in 1992. We started as a trading innovative specialty food processing machines, and we always, wanted to make sure our customers have the good return on their investment and their business is sustainable, so we can also be sustainable. So we were primarily focusing on the South Indian food making machines called wet grinders, and then it was growing good. We had a lot of resellers around the country in USA who not only sold but they also gave the service for the machines. And then in 2007, unfortunately, the recession hit USA. So we wanted to stay afloat in the business, so we had to switch focus. So we were looking at where we can focus now because we understood we were targeting a very narrow market. We have only people not only from India, just from South India, in from 2 or 3 states who make the specialty food. So whenever people buy our wet grinders, we used to ask them. If we don't recognize the name, we call them and ask them, hey, what are you using it for? Because I don't think you'll be making our South Indian food idli. Then they told us what are the different uses they had. So some people, they said they were using it for masa. Some people were saying the Filipino puto. Some people were making even the facial mask. So there were so many variety of uses. And then 3 or 4 people, they said they are also using for chocolate. So that piqued our interest. We said, yeah, because our parent company, Concepts, also believed in innovative concepts, and we wanted to be a trailblazer, not the Me Too company. So we learned more about the chocolate from our customers and then also from the internet and everything. We found out it takes a lot of time to grind the cocoa nibs to the chocolate liquor, and the 3 or 4 customers who were using, they also had to be MacGyvers because they had to repurpose the machine because this machine originally was designed to run for 20 minutes, but they had to make it run for 3 days. So we said, okay, let's focus on making chocolate machines. So we said, you are the expert in the art of making chocolate, and we will give you the machines that helps your art. So we started with the 3 goals. One is environmental sustainability, and then business sustainability and agricultural sustainability. So environmental is we always used high quality stainless steel as much as possible, so it's reduced less wastage, and then also they last longer. People who bought in 2006, 2007, they're still using those machines. And then business sustainability, we wanted to make sure our customers stay in business, so we used to give them all the help they need. And after some time we realized it's not enough just to give the machines, we also have to give them the workshops to teach them how to make chocolate. It's a 3-day intensive workshop. So we started having workshops. People all over the world came to Atlanta or India, and they learned. And then in 2020 we had to pivot again when the pandemic hit. We understood how hard it's for the business to stay afloat, especially in some countries. There is like a eternal lockdown for almost a year now, so people have to survive. And fortunately we are in USA, we got a lot of government support. So we could survive. So we said, we have to help the community. So in September, we said, okay, the lockdown is not coming to an end. It's already like almost 6 months. So we have to look at how we can start focusing on helping people. So we started this monthly 2 webinars a month with international experts, and we are glad to see that so many people are spending their time to come and watch it and learn it. So that's humbling for us, and also it makes us work harder to bring more webinars for you. And then the agricultural sustainability. When we traveled around the world, we found out most of the farmers are 50 plus, and the younger generation didn't want to do the farming, and we don't blame them, because unfortunately the farmers are the least compensated in the food chain. So the younger generation, they want to go to the cities, they want to earn money, and because money is also necessary for living a decent life. So we thought making the farmers self-sustainable and making the agricultural attractive for the next generation. So with the cocoa beans, one good thing is all the chocolate makers, the who do the bean to bar, they buy directly from the farmers, and they are not worried about the commodity price. They may sometimes pay 3 to 10 times more. So the farmers income is increasing, and also they are teaching the farmers how to ferment right, so they can get more value. And most of these farmers now, they can make their own chocolate and taste the chocolate, and then they understand the post harvesting process, what they have to do, how they have to do, to make it easy for their customers and for themselves. So with these three objectives, we have been doing this. And then this is just a small timeline. So we started the company 92, registered, but we started in 94 because we took 2 years to find out which product we should sell. We dabbled into few things, and then finally decided with the equipment. And then now with the, and we also have the patents on our machines. So we have the original patents for all these machines. So right now our objective is, we also want to create a cocoa city with all the resources in one place for the chocolate makers. And also we want to develop new lines of machines and accessories. And then the future, yeah, we are hoping, right now the vaccination is going on around the world, so hopefully we can return to normal life and meet friends and family face to face. Even though the virtual connection is easier to meet people from 40 different countries sitting in my living room, but still I would like to, I'm the person who wants to be around the people. And I think every one of us are like that. We want to be with our friends and family, and, our well wishers. So we are hoping the travel will start soon. And I want to end with this one: Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere in the universe be happy and free, and may the thoughts, actions, and words of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness to all. Stay safe and healthy. Now I will turn over the mic to Teresa.
Thank you, Mrs. Balu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome everyone to Cocoa Town Empowering Chocopreneurs webinars. Mrs. Balu did a little bit of housekeeping at the beginning, but I'll just give a reminder. If you have a question, please put it in the chat for us. And at the end of the webinar, we'll take all those questions that are in the chat and create a document and have Karen and Christian answer the questions for you. And they've also been so kind as to say that they will answer them in Spanish as well, and that will be made available at a later date. Also, after the webinar, you'll receive a recording, a link to the recording, and that way you don't have to take notes or worry about that you missed something today. You will receive a link to view the recording. One thing I wanted to do real quick, just to get to know Karen and Christian, is ask them a question, get them to share with us a little bit about themselves. And I'll start with Karen. Karen, will you share with us a little bit about when your passion for chocolate started, or how that came about?
Yeah, good. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Okay, my passion for cacao started when I was a child. My dad had a cacao plantation here in Guatemala, so I passed most of my childness and my time there. And also, I'm very passionate for food, the food world, so I combine both worlds, and that's why I love a lot of cocoa and chocolate.
Wow, Karen, thank you for sharing that. I didn't realize that you grew up on a cacao farm. That's wonderful. Christian, are you there? We see your beautiful chocolate studio, but we don't see you.
I'm here.
Haha. Hi there. We're so glad you're here. Welcome. So I wanted to ask you the same question I asked Karen. Can you tell us a little bit about how your passion for chocolate began?
Okay, my passion is around the year 2004. I go to fly to Spain. In this part, a contract for me for a cooking chef, not pastry chefs, non cooking chef. In the one moment in the work, the owner in the restaurant tell me for practicing the chocolate. You go, okay, it's very funny, no? In this moment and the practice for the one moment of the chocolate in the restaurant, I love it this moment and to return and 2 years before Mexico and this moment to practice on chocolate. Only one obsession for me is chocolate. This moment and 2 years more. I contracted the different restaurant, hotels, and pastry shops in the other place to be contract for the Oscar Ortega is pastry chef. He live in the Yellowstone Reservation for the Jackson Hole, Wyoming. In this, my practice is very exciting for mass and the showbiz, pastry, and chocolate. But the moment most important for me for the born, the love for chocolate is in this moment in Spain and around. I'm very young.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that journey with us. Okay, well, with that all said, I will turn the presentation over to Karen, who's going to start us off. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm Karen Cordon. I'm a food science engineer with an MBA in specialty in project management from Guatemala. I'm dedicated in quality management systems and development of new products for the food industry. And with Chris in CM Cacao, we form a multidisciplinary team giving support, the complete support to our customers in innovation and development of products that are made from cocoa. For me, it's a pleasure being here sharing this space with this amazing and talented chef, and I hope that all the information that we will be explaining will be of much learning. So, Christian, it's your turn to present you.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. I'm Christian Martinez. I'm from Mexico. I am a chocolate maker now. For my around the world, I study the gastronomy in the different foods, for international food, for pastry, for ice sculpture, for chocolate sculpture, for pastry, and the all time is a practice for chocolate. Now I work in the Seme Cacao as a new brand for in Karen and my sister and me to create this new brand for the necessity for the chocolate out. The other brands is a chocolate for this example in this part the wall is the similar destruction for the theobromine, the molecular theobromine. I love the chocolate. For this moment, I love, for example, the different techniques, the tempering, and you resolve the problems for all time. This is me. Welcome for this webinar.
Okay, thank you, Christian. So we are going to start. I'm going to share my screen with the theoretical part until Christian is going to do step by step the practice. So here comes the presentation. Okay. Okay. Tempering is the set of operation that allows the chocolate to be driven from the liquid state to the stable solid state without separating its components. It's necessary that the stable crystals that form from cocoa butter are obtained quickly so that the characteristics of the products vary as little as possible when stored. To obtain stable crystals, we will be presenting the methods and important aspects to take in consideration. So, the objective of tempering the chocolate is to pre-crystallize the cocoa containing the chocolate, which is related to the working temperature. So, during tempering, the cocoa butter in the chocolate takes on a stable crystalline form. With this, we ensure three very important aspects: the hardness, the shrinkage force, and the shine that the finished product will have after cooling. If the chocolate is melted in the normal way, that is between 104 and 100 Fahrenheit degrees, and we allow to cool to the working temperature, the final product will not have shine or hardness. That's why how this temperature is reached is very important. The three most important factors related to tempering are time, temperature, and movement. Note that the working temperature of dark chocolate is approximately 90 Fahrenheit degrees, while that of white and mixed chocolate is approximately of 86 Fahrenheit degrees. The difference in temperatures is due to the content of cocoa butter they have. So here comes the interesting part of the presentation, that is the practice part. We are going to explain first this method that is called work surface. It's recommended to it with marble and granite. And I'm going to give you this tip that if you don't have marble of granite, use ice to cool this flat surface that you are going to use to put it in a temperature of approximately 77 Fahrenheit degrees. And now Christian is going to show you how to do correctly this method. So go ahead, Christian.
Hello, and this part, you prepare the method on marble, on the granite. Is very important. The melt chocolate around to 45 Celsius, or I change the current from Fahrenheit. Check in this part for the liquid chocolate. You need check the very liquid, the chocolate, for the crystals of chocolate out. You need or one thermometer for this part, 40, 43, or this. (115 Fahrenheit) is perfect. What is the secret for this method? You need pulling the marble around the 70 capacity for chocolate to all, and the rest to in the bowl. Remember that the secret tips the mentioned Karen is move is most important. The chocolate move, I'll extend. It's okay. Not move. One moment to marble compare the cool for chocolate for change and create the crystals all time. In this, the surface is more shiny. At this moment, you need move. Move and time, move up time. You check, it's more shining. You create the very nice crystals for cocoa butter. Yeah. And check. While it's playing more, one more time. It's very funny, this practice for chocolate. It's amazing. If you move the other moment, if you in that chocolate, you create the bubbles, and it's not very good for chocolate. You need move this part, not move this moment for you create the bubbles. Is very bad for chocolate because broken. Press and move. Check the temperature. Every time, check the bubbles and broke. The chocolate chain for most dense, for more shine. Okay, check. It's already. Check the tips. Extend and clean the spatula. And check the bowl, hold the bowl with your hand. Good. Good. Stand. Good. better model work the chocolate pastry chef or chocolate maker is nice and clean. Nice and clean the area. And then you move the two parts for chocolate. This moment is more shining, is perfect. And check. What is the tip for check the chocolate tempering is better? You take a knife or paper and it's perfect. It's very shiny. This more. Check the temperature. Okay, it's perfect.
Sorry, Christian, could you share us the correct temperature, like showing the thermometer?
Okay, it's a 32, 33 degrees centigrades on, I don't know, Fahrenheit.
Okay.
I check. Let me clean this part. In Fahrenheit, it's 89 and 88. What is the check for correct tempering? View on the knife, on view my spatula. The shine. And you contact for finger, no mark. It's perfect. In this moment, you can use for pulling the mold. You need to use the mold for the polycarbonate or plastic. It's better to use the mold for polycarbonate for the chocolate reflect this mold. So if you mold shining, the chocolate is shining. The mold is opaque, no shining, no, it's better. What you clean, you need a cotton, you move, only cotton. The other chef use the alcohol, but in this moment only cotton. The alcohol used for the new molds, but in this moment no problem. It's only nice to cotton, nice. Okay. This moment you pull the chocolate in the mold. You can use this or spoon, or it's more easy for the spatula. Explain more. You can control. Spreader. Stem. Okay. Okay. Nice. You need others. Move. And tap. Or except the bubbles. And to clean. You check the movement for more tap for the broken the bubbles. And perfect this part. And now you go the mold for freezer or for cooler. This is for the pre-crystallization is better, and around 5 minutes to pull in the mold is very shiny. Okay, this method, the pre-crystallization in marble.
Thank you, Christian. So now we are going to be explaining the second method. I'm going to share again the presentation. Okay. Okay, the sewing method. Okay, this is a very simple and practical tempering method. Chocolate that has already solidified is added to the melted chocolate, and naturally the pieces of chocolate have already been tempered. In other words, they are already in the crystalline shape that is needed and can be added to the molten chocolate. The necessary amount of solid chocolate added depends on the temperature and the melted chocolate and the working temperatures that we are using in our area. When the melted chocolate reaches a temperature of approximately 104 Fahrenheit degrees, you can add between 15% and 20% of the total weight of pieces when you are working in a room between 59 and 68 Fahrenheit degrees. It is important to remember that the final working temperature that the chocolate must be at is between 86 Fahrenheit degrees. I saw one question of this is the temperature that you have to reach is 86 Fahrenheit degrees. And if the temperature is higher, the amount of solid chocolate you should add will depend on that. Here come some tips that it is very useful tip to consider that at a very high ambient temperature, a large block of solid of chocolate can be added to the melted chocolate and left inside until temperatures between 86 and 90 Fahrenheit degrees are reached. Having reached it, the solid block of melted chocolate is simply removed and the process is finished. Now, Christian is going to show you this method. So, go, Christian.
The next method is in the seed on the piece, the little pieces of chocolate. This more practice, this better for the climate, very hot. On the tropical place, this better, this nice, this better. What you need is the chocolate in hot, 45 centigrade or en Fahrenheit 45 grados. ¿Cuántos en Fahrenheit 45 grados? Check the chocolate is very liquid, and you need out a little piece of chocolate or chunks, gallets, or I don't know, different pieces for little pieces for chocolate If you use the all chocolate and the other day, you can use only that to put in the chocolate around the pieces. What is the method? You add remember move and time. This is a better mode for time. Move, little move. And the little piece melt. A moment. And you check for thermometer. Okay. On the little pieces, you can add more pieces for chocolate. I remember you use the mold on this mold. You use remember the bare tip is in the 16.8 on 71 the Fahrenheit on 20 and 22 centigrade Celsius. In the room and how and work around the 23 Celsius on 73 Fahrenheit. This is better. If you no use in the room, no problem. Con this method is better. You check. Okay, you can put all. Remember, the current tells you what is the percent for alt. What's the difference for this method? You can pull the nibs on the chunks on the little piece of the chocolate. Not move. You work for create for ganache, for clean the mold, for realize the others works that are. You can prepare other molds, clean your station. This method is for similar for next method. The difference is you part in this method for liquid chocolate, and the other method is you part the little piece of chocolate in the microwave. Then okay, you check. Okay, move. It's perfect. You check for the other knife. Check the temperature. It's perfect. Okay. Yeah. It's nice. It's perfect. Check the other knife. It's perfect, the pre-crystallization. This is the first method. It's okay. check the second method is perfect. And pull in the mold. Remember, you mold, the temperature for work is, it's a 22 Celsius, 68 or 71 Fahrenheit. You clean very well for cotton. You can use the alcohol and cotton. Okay, it's perfect. Check my chocolate. There. Hold in the mold. Expand. What is the better method? You like and you perfect for your place work, this is the better method. Okay, now to clean the chocolate mold. Remember, you can tap in the mold. In your hand is better for no create the more sounds. Don't problem, you can tap on the table. Okay. You clean my chocolate mold. Okay. It's perfect. Okay, this is a second mold. Go to freezer or the cooler. And finish the second method. What is more easy, the marble table or this? This is one question.
Okay. Thank you, Christian. We're going to pass to the next method. Okay. As Christian said, it's a very simple method of doing a correct tempering procedure of chocolate. So here comes another one that is very easy too. The over-crystallization in the microwave. You have to place pieces of chocolate in a plastic or glass container and place them in the microwave. And every 15 to 20 seconds, take it out and stir evenly and constantly until the temperature is evenly distributed and the chocolate does not burn. Be careful with that. It's only a few seconds in the microwave, and repeat the entire procedure until most of the chocolate has melted. Stirring constantly to form the slightly thick liquid chocolate that you saw in the practice that Christian is doing. This procedure is very short and is perfect when you only need a small amount of chocolate, that you don't need to make like a big production. You can use this method because it's easy, quick, and you can do it for only a very short amount of chocolate. So now, again, Christian is going to give you the step-by-step, the practice part. So go ahead, Chris.
Okay, this method is more easy, but it's not recommended for more prepare of big preparations. This is for method easy for the express prepare or the competition and the preparing the pool in the mold for more easy. This method you need all chocolate and little pieces for this part, and you pull in the microwave and 30 seconds and move this part for the surface is no melt. You need move. If you don't move, the chocolate burned. It's very bad. For this move is better. Okay, move and pull in the microwave. More seconds. And remember the technique to clean the mold. You can use for all chocolate. The bean to bar, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, don't problem. You can use 3 methods. Okay. This is one problem if you pass the time in the microwave, only that you almost temperature more hot, don't problem. Remember the other method, okay? So you can use, if you pass the more temperature, you can use all more chocolate and move. Yeah, the method for microwaves only little moment, and you mix and ready. Okay, but if you pass the temperature for chocolate, don't problem. You can use the other chocolate for after method, and you can use. Okay, it's a little tip or trick. Okay, it's perfect. You can view, check temperature. It's perfect. The other tip, if you're very hot, the chocolate, you can pull the chocolate in the walls for bowl. Yeah. One moment. The walls to more cool. To chocolate, it is perfect. No move the crystal for cacao butter. No big problem. It's nice. Okay, check the mold, move the bowl, and it's perfect. Okay, remember, if you're most hot, you check on the walls and check the other chocolate for its perfect minions. This is the first mold you view. It's perfect. The now crystallization is better, no problem. And then for the other part mold, little. This part is mold is very cool. You need a hole in the table. One moment and check. Okay. Check the second technique is perfect. The crystallization. Remember the one is nice. Remember, the chocolate is reflect for shining the mold, and this part of not shining for the inox or the knife, no to cover for reflect. No problem. A ver, pásame el otro. Okay. Check all. The temperature is perfect. You move and check the knife. Remember, you can use the knife on the paper, on the in this tool. I don't know. For me, it's better in the check for knives. The tree. Okay. Move. Remember, the little trick you remove is slowly. If you move fast, you create the bubbles. As you create bubbles in the chocolate, is more tap or breathing. No, it's better. So you move little, check the time slowly. No, move for example in the Mexican they create this the sauces, mole, and in the mole, yes, and the move, and create the like very bubbles is not better for the chocolate. In this part, no problem. You can broken the bubbles in the mold. You tap. Perfect, and move so slowly. Yeah, this is little tip. If you mistake for you move out and create the bubbles, you need tap and move slowly. Yeah, it's perfect. Check the temperature. It's perfect. The other method, you can use this the spoon. You can burn in the mold directly. Okay. Expand. What is the better method? If you use, you like use, more easy for use. It's for only question on me, what is the better chocolate? The better chocolate is you like it. Yeah, expand. Okay. Ready? Remember to tap, or you tap in right hand. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure, it's perfect. Shining the bubbles. Okay, and to freeze. Yeah. Okay, remember the nice and clean you table. I'm ready.
So don't worry, we are reading your questions. At the end of the presentation, we will be answer everything. I'm going to present some tips and tricks that could be useful for you. So I'm going to share again here. Okay, here is like the summary of all the tips and tricks that Christian gave to us a few minutes ago, presenting the tempering, the correct tempering methods to make the the chocolate. So how to check the over-crystallization? As you saw, you have to spread a little chocolate on the tip of a knife or piece of paper, and if the chocolate have been properly tempered, it should solidify in 3-5 minutes when you have a room between 64 and 80 and 68 Fahrenheit degrees, and it should have a good sheen. If not, continue with the cooling procedure. And another problem that you could see is that what to do if the chocolate gets too thick. After a certain amount of time, tempered chocolate can start to thicken very quickly. It is known as over-crystallization and occurs when the cocoa butter crystals develop excessively. Over-crystallized chocolate makes the finished product less shiny and its shrinkage force is insufficient. So also it becomes more difficult to remove the bubbles. So a very simple tip to solve it is to raise the temperature of the melted chocolate by adding more melted chocolate, or reheat the chocolate a little in the microwave, as you saw a few minutes ago, and reheat the chocolate in short stages, not abruptly, so that it liquefies as before while preserving the cocoa butter crystals. And it is also advisable to stir the chocolate regularly because of the crystallization occurs mostly of the surface. You saw that Christian put the chocolate in the surface of the recipient that he was using, and there where it forms a solid solid layer. Also, we want to show you these examples that we can give you about chocolate handling problems and how to fix them. As you saw here, like an example is like difficulty getting out of the mold. One cause could be incorrect tempering of the chocolate, cooling temperature too high, topping chocolate layer too thin. And all these problems have like one solution, and that's why it's very important to learn this topic of tempering chocolate very well, because all the solution of all these problems are a suitable tempering process and controlled temperatures. So Christian, I don't know if you have like something more to say before we start the question part and to solve all the questions that they write to us. Christian, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You can. What is the question?
Can you show us the knife with the correct tempering like methods that you do with the?
You move this.
Yes.
This first. And second. And the third is only liquid for time. Remember the past time around the 5 minutes, 7 minutes for the perfect crystallization. And now you can view the chocolate you shining in the mold, you perfect shining on this mold. And you can view the very, very shiny now. And you can, and the tip is, and you touch the chocolate or a gloves, and the gloves or cotton or silicone is perfect for you take, and don't press the fingers or this perfect view. You can view this. It's very shine. Now, the decision is you use the 3 different methods. The better methods is the most important adequately for your work. For me, is more easy the marble for my room at 23 Celsius. And remember you the 71 the Fahrenheit is better, or 73 for temp for room is better. If the room is very hot, no problem. The better method is the seat or the microwave. You can use 2 methods is better. For the marble is very more complicated for the temperature. You need control the temperature. Now, for your climate, the very hot or the tropical, the most technique perfect is the second and the 3. The second is in the seat and the 3 is in the microwave. One question?